Introduction. To make hydroelectric power, you need two things: water and a hill. We can model this using physics, where matter gains potential energy by being lifted and loses it by falling. If an object is dropped, its energy transfers from potential energy to kinetic energy. With hydroelectric power generation, water on top of a hill consists of all potential energy. As it rushes off the hill, the potential energy is changed and released as kinetic energy. During this transfer of energy, we can tap into its power to produce electricity. Energy production results from slowing the transfer of matter from potential to kinetic energy. This video will teach you how to find the theoretical potential power generation of your unique situation if you install a hydroelectric system. My website includes a free calculator if you don't want to do the math. Link below. How to find the potential energy production. Hydroelectric generators offer unique benefits over solar and wind because they can provide power around the clock depending on the water source. This means that a hydro generator of 500 watts can often produce the same amount of power overall as a 2400 watt solar setup. To find your theoretical potential, you will need to find two different values: flow rate, or Q, and head, or H. Flow rate is the amount of water available in gallons per minute or cubic meters per second. Water head is the amount of vertical fall the water experiences from where it enters the pipe to where it exits the pipe. To find Q, or flow rate, on smaller applications, you can use a timer and a 5-gallon bucket to find gallons per minute. Take the total time in seconds it takes to fill the bucket and divide it by 60, and then multiply 5 by this number. This will give you gallons per minute. For larger flow rates, a weir box may be necessary. Next, find H. This can be done with a transit and careful measurement, or with a garden hose from the water source to the discharge location. Be careful where there is a larger vertical distance, the hose may become overpressured. Fill the hose and measure the pressure at the bottom with a pressure gauge. The PSI valve can be converted to head pressure by multiplying the PSI value by 2.31. This will give you a value in feet for the total height from top to bottom of the rise. You may have to complete multiple iterations with the garden hose and add the total PSI values if you have a large vertical drop available. The calculation. Once you have found the vertical fall and the flow rate, you can find the theoretical potential wattage or power generation possible for your water source. We will use an efficiency rating of 50% since friction affects small-scale operations more than larger commercial hydroelectric systems. The equation is head in feet times gallons per minute times 0.18 times 0.5. Let's look at an example. Suppose you have a small spring on your property that is at an elevation above your house roughly 150 feet. You know this because an addition of garden hose PSI ratings comes to 346 PSI. Dividing 346 by 2.31 gives you 150 feet of elevation, or your head value. You fill a 5-gallon bucket with the source, and it takes 30 seconds to fill free-flowing. Using our flow rate equation, we divide 30 by 60 to get 0.5 minutes. Then we take the 5 gallons and divide it by 0.5 minutes to get 10 gallons per minute. From our calculations, we now know that the water head value H is 150 feet, and the flow rate Q is 10 gallons per minute. Next, we insert the values into our equation and get 135 watts. It will look like this. This will give you a value in watts. Remember, the calculation is the theoretical maximum, assuming a system efficiency of 50%. In addition, head loss will result from the length of the pipe used. This approximation is not a perfect calculation, but will get you in the ballpark. Remember that hydroelectric generation creates the same amount of power as a solar system with 3 to 5 times the peak wattage rating. So, from our example, the hydro generator will replace a solar setup of 400 to 675 watts since it provides power continuously. Thanks for watching. I offer consultation services and I will leave a link to my website below.